So, hey, welcome. I'm so excited that you can join us. This Heal-a-thon, we have a special treat for you. We're going to do some personalized healing um, during the session. So excited for you to get to experience some personalized healing. And we're really going to focus on how you can accelerate healing for yourself, for your clients as you move forward. So let me just share the screen with the presentation. I like to use a presentation sometimes because a lot of people are visual learners like me and prefer to have a presentation on. Okay, so let's put that up on share and put that in presentation. Okay, cool. All right. So one of the things I love is over the last 2 weeks, and today we'll be doing it again, each of the steps that we're talking about is really to increase your confidence, your capability, and your power as a healer. Because the more you do healing, the more methods you have, the more processes you have, the more confident you will feel when anyone walks in the door, and you'll know you'll be able to help support them. So today, we're going to review what types of healing can take place on all 4 levels. And I talk about 4 levels because it's really important to understand that healing isn't about knowing a modality or 2. Healing is really, energy healing work is really about being able to connect with whoever is walking in the door, connect to their soul, see their spiritual energy, see their physical energy, see the emotional energy, understand how to coach them through an issue. And also be in the etherics with them, the etheric energy. So we're going to talk about the 4 different levels, and then I'm going to use one of the processes that I use that guarantees success with your client quickly. Interesting. I realize this is a different presentation. So the first question is, how long have you been a healer? And can you put that down on the voice box? There's a chat. Can you put it in the chat? Because I just want to know what grouping do I have. Some people I know are brand new. Some people wanting to step into their gifts as a healer. Others loving healing energy. And then some are more experienced. So it just helps me figure out what level you are. And while you're waiting, putting information in the chat, trying to see whether it's worth changing the presentation, talking to myself. All right, so we have some people. So Laura, if you can start reading what people are putting in the chat, that would be great. And I'm just going to change out this presentation because this is the older one, not the newer one.
Yeah, so we have Fran, who's at 15 plus years, and Nicole, who's just beginning her practice. And we have other people who have not quite shared yet, so there's still plenty of time to be able to put it in, or just unmute yourself and say it out loud. That will work right now too. Yeah, and if you're having trouble finding the chat box, it's just at the bottom of your screen. It should be a little circle window. Oh, and then there's a Mary who's at 18-ish or whatever. I love that. We sort of joke, Miriam will sometimes say that she's been healing she'll make a lower number because if you add the number of years, it makes her feel like it's a long time. But anyway, somebody else is in for 2 years. So that's, they've been healing for 2 years. And so that's awesome. I'll introduce myself. I'm Laura Hackle. I've been with Marianne for over 15 years, talking about that number. That number stays the same, even though it obviously gets bigger from year to year. And I started seeing Marianne personally about 15 years ago, and it really changed my life. And I was a corporate executive, and I had no desire to switch careers. And somehow, that was actually the path. I was so disconnected from my soul's desire, and Marianne helped me fill that gap. And somebody else is in the just found it, not starting yet, and really interested in training to become a healer. So it's the perfect audience of everyone.
Excellent. Thank you, Laura. All right, so let me just take a second and tell you who I am. I'm a mother of triplets. They're now 18 years old, Zoe, Maya, and Luke. They're all off at their different colleges. And so that's been an adventure for me this year. I'm a master energy healer. And like Laura said, I changed the numbers up because as the numbers get longer, I feel older. So I'll start reducing the numbers. But I really started doing my energy healing work and by the time I was in my mid-30s. And by the time I hit my 40s, I had a practice. And I'll leave it at that. And I'm indoctrinated into 2 different lineages. I have been trained in a lot of different modalities, but for the last 6 or 7 years, I've actually only been using Ascended Masters to teach and train me. And I will tell you that I have learned so much through the healing process over the years and what my Ascended Masters have given me, that this was the year that I decided I needed to put it all together. So people, other energy healers, as well as I have a lot of people that come into the energy school to be a healer, but also to be healed, so that you could get comprehensive healing. I really feel now more than ever is the time that we need to do a lot more comprehensive healing. I also call myself a transformer because I love to work on the emotional and physical levels in terms of transforming people's beliefs about who they are in the world, what they have, what they can do. And I tie it very much with energy healing work. So when you want to become masterful at accelerating your client's healing or accelerating your healing, you have to work on all 4 of these levels. And the levels that I'm talking about are the spiritual level, the energetic level, the physical level, and the emotional level. And you might say, why is that? So through the course of working in this field for so long, what I noticed is when I began to heal, I really only knew how to heal physical. Like I basically knew how to work in the chakra system. And then maybe about 5 years later, I learned a lot about shamanism, went through 2 different lineages and worked it. And in shamanism, you work with past life, present life, and you also work a little bit more on the spiritual level. But it wasn't until I could put all of this together to say, what is accelerating my clients the fastest? What is making them heal so much more quickly? How are they transforming their lives in ways that I don't see other healers having that level of impact? And that's when I realized it was because I was really tied into these 4 levels. So on each level, on the spiritual level, that's really about reading and connecting to the person's soul and understanding what the soul came here to do. And then really figuring out where the gap is between what the soul came here to do and what the person is doing in their lifetime. It's soul contract work takes place on this level. There's a ton of contract work on the spiritual level. There's the Akashic records as well. On the physical level, it's the body's wisdom. It's the chakra system. It's the cellular structure. I have been working with healers over the last couple of years to teach them how to go into the cellular structure in a body and remap it to support it in ways that they didn't have access to. I've been going into DNA and shifting it up. to understand what illnesses are being carried in this lifetime or are coming through from other lifetimes, and releasing past life energy blocks in the body. The emotional level is this idea of identifying key beliefs. What are the beliefs people are living into? And you might say beliefs don't have a lot to do in the realm of energy healing. And I want to say beliefs have everything to do in the realm of energy healing. And this is an area where I don't think people get very well trained, because our beliefs, every thought we carry carries energy with it. So if they're empowering thoughts, they carry the energy. If they're limiting thoughts, we can't step into anything. So when a client walks in and says, I want a relationship, I want a baby, I want more money, I want a new career, and the first thing I will always ask them is, so what's stopping you? Because what's stopping them is their belief system, somewhere, somehow. And they might say, nope, I did everything, I can't find a job. And I will always say there's more than enough jobs out there. It has nothing to do with jobs. It has to do with how you're holding yourself related to a job. So the emotional level is really focused around beliefs, but it's also focused around lineage patterns. Our lineage is the line that we were born into the world with. So my mother and my father, that paternal family pattern, the maternal family pattern. Like, how many of you have noticed in your families, consistent patterns that go on? Let me know. Put in the chat. What are the patterns, if you've noticed something? Put in the chat, yes, there's a pattern, and here's what the pattern is. Very curious to see what people have to say. Okay. Yes, it's not safe to rock the boat. Someone said that's their pattern. What other patterns? Money blocks. Lots of patterns around money, love, and relationship. Yeah. It's very easy to find a pattern in your family. And the pattern in the family is, if there's a desire or a want, and yet it's not coming through, and you see it in yourself, you see it in your mother, or you see it in your sisters or brothers, that's a pattern. I love this. Life is hard. Work means difficult, hard work. That was a pattern in my family as well. There's a lot of patterns. One that's coming to mind now is, I've always been told I can't trust anyone more than my own family. So it creates a fear of others. Only my family will be there for you. So just in thinking that way really limits your ability to grow and have expansive relationships with a lot of different people. Someone else wrote in limitation. Okay, so everyone's starting to get connected with the pattern that they see running their family. That's excellent. So now I want to talk to you about, what is the energetic level? The energetic level is the energy that resides between our soul, between the physical body, and between the spiritual possibilities. And so in the energetics, we might see different issues coming up. We might have life force energy to heal. Like, if people are a perpetually low energy, they might have some life force issues there. And the energetics is where I really work a lot with crystal grids to shift patterns, to shift vibrations. So it's our vibrational knowing. And this whole work in the energetics has been new for about 2 years. I don't really know anyone else doing some of this work. There might be, but it's been new to me for maybe 2.5 years. And I've been using it in my other energy school. And what I've noticed is that people are making rapid change. And they're making rapid change because everything changes in the energy first, and we've informed the universe of who we are again. And it just resets us in a big way. So we'll talk about that. But this is all called the Tolera methodology. And this is the methodology I created a while ago, over a year ago, to put it all together. And I worked with my son, who's a Latin major, to come up with the word Tolera, because Tolera means liberation. And I truly believe when we do energy work, when we are energy healers, what we're really doing is liberating people from their lives. But it also means destruction. But I love the destruction part because we're deconstructing what brought them to the places in their lives where they're not happy, where they're not getting fulfilled, where they're not getting what they want in their life. So that is the Tolera methodology, and that's what I teach to. For today, we're going to talk about accelerating healing by clearing your lineage. Now, the reason why I chose lineage is because lineage takes place on all 4 levels. It takes place in the spiritual because that's where our ancestors' energy comes from right now. It takes place on the physical because we carry it within us. It's in our cell structure. It's in our DNA. It takes place in the emotional because we've been told. The curious thing about lineage is that certain people are told certain things when they grow up, like the person that says, you can't trust anyone but family. That's her family's belief system, and she's been told that. And oftentimes we perpetuate our family's belief system, whether we really buy into it or not. It becomes our unconscious, and we operate from that place. So really what we're trying to do is dig in and get to what's in the unconscious to make it conscious to shift out of us. And then it's in the energetics because our thoughts live everywhere. So we have to go clean out our thoughts in the energetic realm. All right. So I talked about energy that flows from us to our family. It's either expanding or limited. It's based on generational beliefs. So oftentimes I see in my practice, if someone comes with some abuse in their life, it tends to be there's a history of abuse in the lineage. Or if someone comes in with scarcity, like never able to make enough money, there tends to be an energy of scarcity in the lineage. I had one woman that was desperate for a relationship, and she could never, never, never step into a relationship. And I said, so who's in a relationship right now in your family? Do you know no one was? So her mother and father were divorced. Her grandparents were divorced. Nobody stayed in, one sister did, but all the other children did not. Nobody in that lineage could stay in relationship. And that's why she was having so much trouble. Once we could clear it in the relationship, once we, the lineage, we could change her belief system, and then she could practice being in relationship again. So we want to, when working with clients, release past lineage influence. So I want you to take a minute because I really want to give you this healing today so that you know how powerful it can be. So I want you to think about one of the lineage patterns that you want to work on. And I want you to get connected to the why you want to work on that. Why is it? And then how strong is it playing in your life? Is it just really a low-level nuisance, or is it high? So write it down and in the chat and let me know, is it low, high, medium? Okay, so someone's choosing limitation. You have to work hard to get nice things and money, and it's low. So, Susan, if money is low, I want you to find some other lineage pattern that's a little higher. Shame surrounding sexuality, that's high. Okay, so when you have it, when you have what the lineage is and whether it's high or low, I want you to take a deep breath. Okay, this is great. Someone's saying, I want a saying in my relationship, I don't want to be a victim anymore. And she sees both her brothers and mom are victims in their relationship, so very high. Someone else is saying, stand in neutral in conflict, and that's very high. Okay. Working hard to survive is extremely high based on multiple generations of mountaineers, pioneer dwellers. Oh, I so get that. Okay. Great. So everyone has theirs. So now what I want you to do is to close your eyes. I'm going to stop the share for a minute. And I want you to just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And let yourself, I'm working with 3 colors today. One is blue, one is purple, and the other is yellow. Choose the color that you want to connect with right away. Like what color comes to you? Choose that. Take a deep breath. And then just imagine that color coming to you. And as you close your eyes and you're envisioning that color, I just want you to believe that you can let go of your past beliefs. Okay, now take another deep breath and come back to present time and present place. And let me know how you're feeling. You could just put it on the in the chat when you say how you're feeling. Okay, so what do we have here? 2 new messages. Takes a while. Lighter and more free. Okay, let me know how you're feeling, because I want to know if we, during this thing, I'll continue to work on everyone. Awesome, lighter and relieved. Pain in shoulders and third chakra, thoughts of responsibility and insight. Perfect. So now what you're doing, Fran, is getting to another level. So allow yourself to drop back in, and I'll continue to release the next level. So when you do lineage work, when you let go of these patterns, you'll start to feel a little bit lighter, a little freer, a little bit more optimistic. Someone said cooling, more hopeful regarding the victim target or conflict thing. Great. Somebody else said, I feel cooking energy surrounding the outer layers of my skin. The willingness to let go of beliefs felt easy. Didn't feel mental chatter or fear telling me it wouldn't. I feel more clear. I could see yellow the whole time. Excellent. Energy moving around in large blobs with some leaving. Greater insight. Perfect. Okay, so while we continue on with our presentation, I will continue to clear. So hopefully by the end, everyone will feel fabulous. But what I want to do is to make sure that you leave here with a new mantra too. And why is this important? When we change something in our energetics, we also have to begin to inform our mind, oh, this is how we're thinking now. This is the new me. This is the way I want to hold something. So in order to do that, we have to create a new mantra for ourselves. So take a minute and say, how can you create this new mantra, the way you want to be seen, the way you want to be held? What is it that you want? So my new mantra, maybe around working hard, is I work easy and the work gets done quickly. Or if I'm looking for relationships, I can trust relationships, and I use my own intuitive knowing to know whether this is a relationship that's going to serve me or not. So I'll give everyone a couple more minutes, and then I want to get to something really fun. Someone just put something in the chat, so let me just see. Okay, feel pain in middle back. Great. I'm happy to keep releasing that for you. Cooling, ha ha ha. I am proud of my sexuality. It's identity and healthy expression. I love it. I am proud of my ability to birth creations into this world. Super powerful. Here's someone else says, I easily and lovingly respect my soul, who I am, and the person I am with. Love that. These are really empowering affirmations. I am at ease and flow with my daily life. Perfect. And I would love an abundance, and abundance surrounds me everywhere I go. To that one. I am at ease and flow with my daily life, and abundance surrounds me everywhere I go. Okay, just another one or two and then we'll move on. Just want to make sure people are writing their most impactful and affirming mantras. Yeah. Thumbs up. Great. Excellent. I stand in my truth and power and only seek approval from within and from the divine. Oh, I love that. That's so lovely. Love it. All right. So people, for those of you that didn't put anything in the chat, you're getting the understanding of what empower and affirmation looks like, because that's what's in the chat. All of those are incredibly empowering. All right. So now we're going to take a little bit of an assessment. And what I want you to do is to do a self-assessment for yourself. You'll see that there's a wheel and that there's the 4 levels of energy healing, and I will speak what's in each one of them. But so in front of you, I want you to draw a circle and divide it by 4, much like what's on the screen. And then you can put in spiritual, emotional, energetic, or physical. Or if you can't draw a circle, if you have no pen and paper, or if you're driving, what I want you to do is just think about it for yourself. Low is anywhere on a continuum. So we're going to use the scale of 1 to 10. So low is anywhere between 1 and 3. Medium is 3 to 6, 3 to 7. And high would be anywhere from 7 to 10. I want you to think about what I said lives in the spiritual world. So when we work on the spiritual level, your ability to use your intuition to connect to a person's soul and to have a conversation with that soul, asking what the person came for, where are the gaps, what kinds of support do they need, just like you might with a best friend. So that requires a real strong intuition, a process for connecting with souls, and a process for understanding the different modalities that you get to listen to soul. Also, what's in the spiritual level is soul contracts. Do you know how to find them, how to write them, how to burn them up, how to create a new one? The other is Akashic records. Are you low, medium, and high, or high on reading them? So if you were to look at your capabilities around spiritual, where would you rate yourself? And you could just draw it as you see it on your circle. Like if you're low, you're going to be closer to the center. If you're high, you're going to have a line on the outside. Now I want you to move from spiritual to emotional. And this is around helping to support people with limiting beliefs, helping to find the energy around the beliefs, helping to do lineage work for them, helping to clear the energetics in the conscious and in the subconscious, because you have to know how to get to the beliefs that are being stored in the subconscious, because they drive a person just as much. So are you low, medium, or high? So check off or draw a line where you are in that domain. And then when you get to the energetics, that's around finding energy that resides outside of us, understanding how to go through different portals, how to work in different dimensions, how to work with crystals and crystal gridding. Are you low, medium, or high? And then I want you to go to the physical. That's how to take care of the physical body, how to work within the chakras, within the cells, within at the organs, the bone structure? Are you low, medium, and high? And it doesn't mean just flowing energy. Remember, when we heal, we have to first figure out how to identify where the energy lives. Then we need to know different release processes or techniques. So in the physical, sometimes I work like on a surgical level using little sort of knives to cut out energy. Sometimes I work with, a gush and flow of energy to just move energy out. So it's like, what are your capabilities there? Are they low, medium, or high? So what I'd love you to do is to put in the chat where you live primarily in the realm of energy healing. Where's your confidence in working on all 4 levels? And when you're ready, you can put it in the chat. So, Fran, you said medium. In all levels, or are you low or high in any others? So yes, in all levels, about a medium. Okay. Who else? Emotional would be high for me, the highest for me, and the others might be a little bit lower. Okay, great. Spiritual is low but opening. Emotional and is high. Physical is medium. Energy high. Spiritual, emotional low. Right. So what most of you will notice is that you'll peak in one of these dimensions, or even a couple of dimensions, and then a couple others will not be as strong. Christine said physical, and it's low. And what I love this chat, because for me, it gets me very clear on where I have to develop more. And how do I sync it all together? Because here's the deal. You really can't you can't really heal in only one of these domains. You have to heal on 2 or 3 to be successful, to give your client deep healing. That's why we always refer to energy healing as peeling back the layers. Because I've never actually in all my years found something only residing in one thing, in one area, in one domain. So what you want to think about for yourself is, as you go forward, where do you see your own gaps? Where do you see your confidence lagging? Because why I put this together is there are a lot of energy healers out there not making enough money, not having the confidence to take some of the people that walk through their door, not getting the referrals from their clients. And here's what I would say: if you don't get a referral, it's typically because the person may not have gotten enough from your session. So what I want you to think about is, where do you see your gaps? Where would you like to learn more? Oh, thanks, girls. I see a few more coming in. Emotional high, spiritual low, low energy, medium. Okay. So when you feel your gaps, when you've defined your gaps for yourself, what will it mean to you to make movement in filling the gaps? Is this work important enough? Is really helping a client to get to their next phase or next place in life important enough for you? Oh, I love yours. Gayla's saying, my people are great sessions and they tell me others want to book, but she's not clear how to define what my offer is for them to send people to me. So what you're learning here today is beginning to shape your messaging. I heal at these 4 different levels. I help people move from one place in their life to what they're desiring in life. And for me, I have people that only walk in with physical ailments and only want that kind of healing. I have people that just walk in because life is too much for them and they want some support and help along the way. And either one is fine. And what you have to get clear on is what you love to do for people. I like to work on the whole system. I like to help the whole person move forward in their life. So usually the ones that come in with a physical pain, I help them to see where the emotions are that are attached to it. Or I go into past lives or future lives and see where the spiritual energies are blocked. So this is a great question, Fran. Fran's asking me, how much, in my opinion, do you need to know in each area to be successful? I would say that you would want to be a medium to high in each area, and here's why. Because if you only know a little in one area, my guess after training hundreds of healers is you'll never use that on someone. What I see most is healers go to what they know, or what they feel most comfortable with. And that's what they use over and over again. And so I would say that working within a system, you have to be comfortable with the whole system, because that's what's going to guarantee that you're going to use it and do profound and deep healing. It's funny, I just had a call with one of my healing groups now, and they're in the 8th month. And what's so powerful is that they're in it. And I was asking them the question, so what don't you know? What are you not using? Because if they're not using it, they don't feel confident in it. And my goal is to bring everyone to confidence. So you bet I'm going to wrap around more training around what they're not feeling confident in. Because I want my healers to feel so powerful and so sure that anyone, any issue that walks in their door, they could be powerful and help them. So I want to ask you a question. What if, given that most of you are saying you're high in some areas, low in other areas, I didn't see anyone say I'm high in everything. And that's, you know, that's just where you are on your cycle of development. So it's not good or bad. It's just taking a snapshot and saying, today I don't feel like I'm high on all these dimensions. And here's a dimension that I'd really like. What I would also say is that most of the time, if we think that we're really high, it's because we're using 1 or 2 modalities to heal. And we don't really have the full toolbox available to us to heal even more at different levels. So I want to ask you this question. If you're in the same place next year, will you be happy? Will you be happy if you don't step into your gifts more and do your soul's work? Like some of you are just beginning. You're so curious and you know you're being called to do this work. Those of us that have been doing this work for years, and there's several on the phone that I love, we've been doing it because, not because we want to make a living by it, but because we're being called to do it, because we're passionate to do it. And we're making a living by doing it, you see? Because the universe is going to support us when we step into our purpose work. So those of you that have been sitting on the fence and not knowing, do I take a step forward or not, or just sort of containing yourself to learning a couple of modalities, I really want you to take this time and say, am I okay with this? Or do I want a comprehensive system? Do I want to be able to heal anyone or to support anyone that comes through my door? And somebody said, I need a solid and stable space to practice and teach from. And no, absolutely not. You don't feel like you know it. So Christine said, it would feel sad to me if I didn't step into it. Excellent. I don't want to make you feel sad, but here's what I want to do. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know until somebody says it. Like a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have had clarity around the impact of healing at all 4 levels unless my guide said, look, here's what you've been doing. This is what you have to go and teach others to do. This is why your healings are so powerful, and you have to get it out there because they didn't see it happening. So a lot of times we don't know what we don't know yet. And we have to honor our journey and know that it's okay for us to keep investing in ourselves and learning and growing. Because if we're like that, we're aligned to our energy, because here's what we know for sure. Energy is never static. It never stays the same. Who you were 5 seconds ago is different from who you are right in this second. That's how quick everything is changing within us and around us. And unless we continuously change, we're going to be left behind. So it's not about feeling bad or sad. It's about really knowing what you want to go after and giving yourself permission to go and have it. So I want you to answer this question. What will it mean for you to make movement in your gaps and filling those gaps? And Christine's saying, 1 year ago, I was low in all areas, and now I have 2. I totally agree. Excellent. So what will it be like for you? What will it mean if you fill your gaps? Mean as in action steps to take. Not in action steps, means personally. How would you feel? How would your soul feel? How would your purpose, would you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose on this planet? Would you feel like you're making your greatest contribution? Or maybe you just feel like, you know what, at this stage in my life, I just want to coast, and that's perfectly okay. Nicole's saying elated. She would feel elated. Increased confidence all around. Excellent. How many of you would feel more powerful in your work? How many of you would feel unstoppable? Keep learning and healing. Feel in tune with self. Yes, absolutely. More unique and more attractive. Absolutely. You know what's interesting? When I started doing energy healing work, I live on the East Coast. People didn't even know how to spell energy healing. And when I started doing it, I was really like the only game in town for those people that even knew about me. And now there's a lot of different energy healers out there, which is great. But here's what I see. A lot of energy healers do 1 or 2 modalities, like their cranial sacral, or their Reiki, or their shamans, or their, therapeutic touch. And the challenge with that is that when people come into you, they're not saying, oh, I want this. What they're really doing is sharing what's happening in their life. And if you don't have the capacity to understand that there's these 4 levels that you have to look into, that you have to ask questions around, you might only get to heal one aspect for them and not the whole thing. And the most powerful and exciting part of the work is seeing someone transform, because you're helping them heal the whole thing. Someone's saying beyond, more unique, more attractive, beyond. I would feel real confident. Yes, I've been wanting to expand my 2 belt beyond what I know. I've taken all levels of my training over and over again. Excellent. All right, well, what if you had one place that you could go to that has a program focused on healing for you, that teaches you all 4 levels? And I'm sorry, I don't understand why this slide is up, but anyways, I want to introduce you to the Journey of the Healer program. This is the program that I'm most excited about. I created it over a 1.5 years ago. We have one massive group going through it now. People are popping, their confidence level is getting so great. I love to see them. They're starting to build their businesses, or they're taking their business to the next level. I got a note the other day from someone in the class that says, and she was one that had been around for like maybe 15 years or so. And she was doing lots of intuitive readings or psychic readings. And she said, I feel so much more fulfilled that I can actually now heal the problems, not just tell them about their problems. So one of the Journey of the Healer teaches you how to heal on every level, how to enhance your capabilities, how to become confident at the emotional, the physical, the energetic, and the spiritual. And most importantly, it gives you a roadmap and it gives you a methodology. I teach the whole program primarily myself. I have coaches in there that give you day-to-day support or week-to-week support. We come together 3 times a year as a community, and it's powerful. And what's so cool is you'll see the community, the vibration of the healing community going up every time we get together. It's 3 in-person days. And then in between the in-person days, we have 2 calls a month that focus on teaching new skills. Another call is focused on building your business, giving you strategies. I share all the marketing that I do, all the business back office stuff that I do, how to get referrals, how to build testimonials, whatever it is that you need. I'm an open book, and I love to share what I'm doing. We have triads where you practice the skills on each other. But more importantly than all of this, and I'm going to actually I'll just leave it on this. More importantly than all of this is that you as a healer will grow your confidence 10-fold, 100-fold, off the charts. Because you now know, you now know what's possible for you. You now know how to handle any situation that walks in the door and how to truly heal holistically. That's what I give. A system, a roadmap, a process to heal somebody holistically on all levels. And here's the cool thing. In the program, we have very experienced people, and they bring their capabilities to the next level because there's always room to expand. I always consider myself a teacher and a student. I'm always in the student mode because I always want to learn and grow and continue to develop. Because anything I learn and grow and develop, I bring to my clients as well. So I want you to take a minute and ask yourself those questions. Are you willing to grow your confidence by 100%? Are you willing to develop a business where you could feel proud? I have people leaving their full-time jobs and starting healing businesses. I have people that have known they've had healing gifts for years but afraid to bring them out in the world, suddenly bringing them out into the world. I have some people that just use their healing on family and heal the masses energetically. So I want you to go in, take a deep breath, ask yourself, what would it be worth, and if you're ready. And if you're ready to have a conversation with either myself or Laura, I want you to go to thejourneyofthehealer.com. This says fill out an application, but there is no application. You go to journeyofthehealer.com and just schedule a phone call. We love talking to people about what their next steps are. And it could be the program, or it may not be. Maybe it's just like you're great and you only need this one little area. But what we help you do is get clarity on what's next for you, what's possible, what you can step into, how you can build and have people referring you all day long. So let me know if that excites you. Put it in the chat. Oh, I love this. Nina says, I would feel in alignment with my divine life purpose, feel more powerful and expansive, and the sky's the limit. You know, that's how I get up every day. I feel like I have the possibility and the potentiality to do anything I choose to do, except in the area of electronics. And I'm trying to fix that right now. I keep burning out my electronics. They drive me insane. But take a minute and let me know in the chat, are you ready? Do you want to connect with either Laura or I to help you put together a plan? So I have Nicole saying, of course, someone else saying, I feel stable. And I like your word choice, stable. Stable means steady. Steady means consistent. So great, you're in a steady, consistent place. Some people are ready for growth. Some people love to be in a steady, consistent place. Either works. It all works. You have to decide what is going to work for you. Connie, that's a beautiful message. And she's saying she's feeling blessed. Nina's saying, I'm interested. Great. So if you're interested, go to thejourneyofthehealer.com, put it in. All right. And here's the one I love, fear of finances. I was waiting for that to show up. Yes, it is an investment. But here's what I know for sure. Everyone that's been investing has started their business. They have not waited to the end. Their clients are increasing. Money's flowing in for them. So your fear is just a fear of moving forward, because money always follows when we take action. My soul says, yes, yep, fear of how much my investment is. So go to the journey and we're happy to have the conversation with you. It's not expensive when you think about what it can do for you as a healer and what you go off and get to offer. I want to get out of this. I'm going to stop share because I'd love to. I think there's a couple of my clients on here. So Laura, you're on here. Jane's on here. Can you tell me what has opened up for you? Some of you, I think there's a few phone calls, but I don't know who they are. So Laura, what has opened up for you since connecting with this work?
So what's opened up for me is actually this level of confidence and fulfillment. So I had like everything one could want to be happy in life, but I wasn't waking up every day being like, I've got the best life. And so being able to do this work and being able to support people in the world and to know that I do know how to heal anybody that comes through is really remarkable. And when I first started the work, I used to think that I got to be like Marianne, who saw people in offices privately, or that's how it all works. And I actually branched out a little bit differently. I'm a sound vibrational healer. And so I use the crystal bowls, both by myself and in concert with other people on other instruments, to create healing among large groups of people, as well as I've started a mom empowerment business. So I actually am so committed to every single person in the world being seen and heard. And I think that that starts with moms, and that as moms, we are divinely chosen to parent the kids we have. And so I got to have support in going through some challenging periods with my kids, and that's what I am now giving back to the world. And so that feels amazing to be able to stand in that place.
And Laura used to work for me full time, and now her business has taken off. So she's left me, wah, wah, wah. And she's now running her own healing business, which is thriving. And so that's what changes. That's what changes when you invest in yourself, when you take risks, when you take steps. All right. And Jane, I think you're on here. Are you okay to share a little bit of what's opened up for you?
So I'm multitasking right now, so I just
Okay.
typed something in the chat, but it's okay. I'll talk if you don't mind not having the video there.
Sure.
Okay, so there's a bunch of, I'm in the kitchen. Everything's just all over the place. So I just wanted to say that I work with people. Is it okay to say what I use, the other protocols I was using? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I am part of the official practitioner support group from medical medium Anthony William, and I've been working with his protocols personally for almost 8 years and helping others heal for the past 2 using them. And the past almost year at this point, I've been in the journey of healer school. And from the moment, actually before that, it was about a year with Marianne. So from the moment I started working with Marianne, things became more clear about my path of who I am as a healer, my intuition, my ability to attract the right people, the ability to set boundaries has become stronger and stronger over this past year. And before that, while I worked with her privately, the people that I talk with, I start to just come from a knowing about their soul and what they need. It's just becoming more natural and more easy, and I'm getting more empowered. They're getting more empowered. People are healing, and rather than using lots of supplements and things that other people in my field are using, we're relying mostly on food and intention and the power of mantras and working with the crystal grid and working with crystals and just the full-on empowerment of who you are as a person and alignment with the higher self. And I know that I would not have gone there in this healing path without being a part of this school and working with Marianne. And I needed to be aligned with her to wake that up in me again. So, and it's incredible. And I'm so excited to keep working and growing. And I just hired an assistant for a few hours a week to help me out because I'm getting so much business, more than I intended to at this time, which is fine. I'm rolling with it. So I'm not complaining. I keep it coming because I'll take more time from someone else to help me do it. So this is great and I love it. And I totally encourage you to really consider this if you're getting the calling, because it's one of the best things I've done for myself in my entire life. And this goes back over a decade's healing. I'm in my 50s. And I started in the 80s on trying to get on this path and finding the right venue and knowledge and learning and connection to higher self. And, this is the real deal. So you really go in these places.
Thanks, Jane. And thank you for, sorry, I put you on the spot there.
It's okay.
And this is like Jane's an example and Laura's an example of you don't have to wait till the end of the program to actually have your healing practice. I mean, Jane, we're into it, 7 months, I think, 7 or 8 months. And they're doing it. They're out there, they're doing it, they're integrating. And I think that Jane said something really interesting. A lot of other people in her field of this medical medium are using supplements. And she's noticing that by the energy work that she's been trained to do with us, they're making the shifts. In intention work, they're making the shifts. So it's just a different way of thinking about what makes you unique in the world. How powerful can you come? What's going to make Jane even more attractive, and that's why she's getting so much business, she can't keep up with it at this point, is that a lot of people, when they start down this path and they're told to take 20 supplements or 30 supplements, after a while they can't or they won't. And so they leave behind the healing. And Jane's doing it in a way that's way more accessible to the people so they can be in it with her and make the changes. And so, so she's learned how to set herself apart in her field by doing more of the energy work and the intention work and shifting the beliefs for people. So that's what I want for you. I want you guys to be incredibly powerful. I want you to be able to feel confident, to bring your gifts to the next level, because we're all gifted and there's always a new level that we can get to, including me. I learn just as much when I'm in training and I'm teaching them. It sort of locks it in a new way for me. All right, so I'm going to take everyone off mute. So if there's any other last minute questions people would like to ask me, I'm happy to answer. Oops. And if not, I think we'll all say goodbye. Oh, and Laura just put schedule journeyofthehealer.com. Maybe I will mute everyone again because it's echoey. Laura just put journeyofthehealer.com. Remember, you're only signing up for literally a conversation on what's possible for you. All right, everyone. Have a great day. We're going to wave goodbye to everyone. Bye. I love seeing these faces. Take care, everyone.